Marcus Spears is going to join us, as is Peter Schrager. And so the AFC North title on the line Sunday night when the Ravens and Steelers meet in Pittsburgh. Winner wins the division while the loser season is over. The Ravens started out rough. They've had a lot of injuries, including to their quarterback, Lamar Jackson. As for the Steelers, they started out hot, but Aaron Rodgers struggled last week in a game they had to have. Former Steelers great James Harrison says there's been issues with Pittsburgh that needs to be addressed. Take a listen.
Since our last playoff win in 2016, we can't even pick right on the first and second rounders, dude. We done made more misses than hits on our first and second rounders, bro. It's only 2 players on our squad that got extended in that time frame to a long-term deal when it came that time. And that's TJ and Freiermuth. And that's all on Coach T, man.
All right, so let's dissect that a little bit further. Marcus Spears, as I said, is with us, as is Peter Schrager. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. Hello, hello.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
You working? Another one who doesn't work. He gets him here today. Hello, buddy. What's going on, my pal?
Good to see
I'm
you,
in the
sir.
building.
That's right.
Let's go.
That's right. Kind of in the building, yes. Let's talk a little bit more about what we just heard from James Harrison. We talked a lot on the line on Sunday night, but could a rebuild, maybe for the Steelers, regardless of the result, also be on the line? What do you think?
Yes. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. And if they lose and they miss the playoffs, suddenly you're in the same spot with an aging veteran team and the same coach. And how do you get that spark going again? But I would also counter that if they win on Sunday night, you're going into a playoffs where you have home field during the wild card round in cold, snowy Pittsburgh. And then you're going probably on the road to play Drake May in his first playoff game or Bo Nix in his second playoff game. And it's not exactly a murderer's row awaiting for you with experienced teams that have been knocking on the door. So as much as we're writing the obituary for the Steelers and for Mike Tomlin as the head coach of the Steelers,
Good point.
I also think a win can kickstart this thing and maybe they go on one of these runs that has a veteran team, suddenly a healthier TJ Watt back on the field. I would imagine they get back Calvin Austin. I imagine DK Metcalf makes a major difference. And a win can totally shift the narrative from a rebuild to suddenly, wait a second, our window is here, right now. Why don't we become the team that goes on a miracle run like the Packers did in 2010 or like the Giants did in 2007? Yes, Tomlin, it's going to be a long discussion. It won't be Mike Tomlin shows up to work on Monday if they lose and he's shocked because Mr. Rooney says, you're gone. It's going to be a conversation. Do we really want to bring this back? Do you want to explore some of the other things quite some bit? I will tell you, having worked at Fox, having worked at NFL Network, and now here at ESPN, there is a chair waiting, whether it be in the booth or on one of these wonderful, warm, weather-controlled sets for Mike Tomlin to make a lot of money talking football if he so wishes for a year, or he can pick his spot of open vacant jobs. So let's not cry for Mike Tomlin just yet. I think this team could still go on a run. And if they do say it's time to part ways in Pittsburgh, he's going to have a very good opportunity to having a second or third chapter of his career.
Okay, that is true. But Sunday, they didn't have to be in this situation,
I know.
right? They didn't have to be
brutal
in
last
this situation.
week.
Very brutal. Swagoo, what do you think? Do you think a rebuild is waiting for the Steelers regardless of the result?
Yeah, a rebuild is waiting anyway. The quarterback is 42 years old, and we can lament about Aaron Rodgers and what he's done, and obviously he's been impactful for this football team to have him at least at this point, but they still got to rebuild. This is the conundrum that Pittsburgh has been in for the last 5 years, or since Ben Roethlisberger retired. You do well enough not to win a Super Bowl, but you don't do bad enough to be in position to take a franchise quarterback. And listen, that's what the conversation is about. Like, it's not coincidental, y'all. Think about this, right? Let's look at the teams, because Schrags just went through it. The teams with these young quarterbacks. Bo Nix, first-round draft pick. C.J. Stroud, first-round draft pick. Trevor Lawrence, first-round draft pick. You look at all of these teams that are going to be into the playoffs. Drake May, first-round draft pick. I can't believe I forgot him. But look at the teams. Justin Herbert, the Buffalo Bills. What do they all have in common? They all have first-round draft picks at quarterback that panned out and became really good in their early years, in their early season. And barring the Pittsburgh Steelers lose to the Baltimore Ravens, it'll be another first-round quarterback in the playoffs in Lamar Jackson. So let's stop fooling ourselves and let's stop having a conversation about a rebuild. You're in a rebuild when you don't have a quarterback. All right, that's the bottom line. And we've had all of these ancillary conversations around Pittsburgh. Should Tomlin get fired? What should they do with the roster? Yeah, you got to fix a lot of stuff when it's a football team and you're trying to maneuver your way and become a part of the playoff picture. There was a first-round draft pick at quarterback traded from the Los Angeles Rams that went to a Super Bowl that ended up in Detroit. And I know the Lions won't be in the playoffs this year, but they've been there every year since Jared Goff got there, outside of this one. You think about what's going on with your team, Shea Cornett. Caleb Williams, what round was he drafted in, and what did he turn out to be? A first-round quarterback. And everybody's going to say, well, the Pittsburgh Steelers tried that with Kenny Pickett, and it didn't work out. No one on the set was sold that Kenny Pickett was going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers into the future back that I can remember when we were talking about the draft. We know what this is about. And that's not to say you don't get a third-round quarterback to pan out every once in a while, a second-round guy like Jalen Hurts in Philly who's won a Super Bowl, who's been to 2, Tom Brady who was taking late rounds. We all know that. Pittsburgh is rebuilding because they don't have a quarterback.
Well, let me say a couple things. First off, Sunday against the Browns was not Rodgers' fault. He had nobody to throw the ball to. Austin didn't play. Metcalf gets himself suspended, and the tight end broke his arm.
Took a bad sack, though, and that Boswell field goal became nearly impossible.
All right, he played well. He did.
6 points?
The Browns have a good defense. I mean, that was not Rodgers. That was not Rodgers' fault. He had nobody. You and I could have played wide receiver.
Game on the line, throws to Marquez Valdez-Scantling 3 times.
The ball, he had single coverage. I do the same thing. Plus, he had scolding against Denzel Ward on the 4th down play. Threw it high. If that's Metcalf, he catches it. Touchdown.
It's not Metcalf.
Well, I mean, that's Metcalf's fault.
Man, no,
the idiot.
Go with your analysis. We understand it ain't Aaron Rodgers' fault.
It isn't. That game wasn't his fault. Oh, come on, Swag. Well, you're going to blame that game on Rodgers? You're going to go. Oh, he agrees with me.
No,
I apologize.
No, man, dog. But you talking like he played a damn MVP game.
I didn't say that. It wasn't his fault. Anybody who watched that game, and I had the Browns, so I watched it carefully.
Okay, I see that.
Anybody who watched that game would tell you, they can't blame that game on Rodgers. That's number one. Number two, the Steelers are not going to rebuild, okay? These are the Steelers. They're not going to sit there and go, 3-14 to get lucky with a draft pick. That's not what they're doing. Pittsburgh will do what they've done for the last 3 or 4 years. They tried Russell Wilson, didn't work. They tried Rodgers, it's semi-worked. May not now if they don't make the playoffs. And number 3, Malik Willis is available.
Yeah.
And he has played tremendous. He's going to be a free agent. You're telling me that Pittsburgh would not be in the market for him. So I don't think that Pittsburgh is going to sit there and say, you know what, let's let Tomlin walk. Well, be lousy for a year or 2 and then maybe get lucky with the draft pick. That's not the way the Mooney family operates. Mara family doesn't operate that way. This is they play every game to win. I'd be surprised. And I don't think Tomlin's going anywhere. I think Tomlin's going to stay. You're right, he could do TV in a second. I mean, there's going to be about 5 or 6 jobs open. You're the expert. You figure Tennessee's open, Arizona's open, the Giants are open. Giants aren't going to hire Tomlin, no. It's about 5 or 6, maybe Atlanta. There's 5 or 6, maybe Tampa.
Maybe Miami.
I think that Ross will keep him. Ross likes McDaniel.
I'm saying maybe Miami.
But again, I think he's going to stay. I think Tomlin's going to stay. And then finally, quickly, the Ravens are going to win this game. And I made this comment on the radio. Swagoo, I haven't seen him in months. You and I have not talked. I never saw him run. I wanted to get this point in to start the show today. If anybody was wondering what Jim Brown looked like as a running back, Derrick Henry on Saturday night was Jim Brown. That was and I saw Walter Payton have the 275 Swagoo before you were born in 1977.
Earl Campbell?
I saw Campbell. I saw Willie Ellison have a huge game for the Rams. I've seen that. I personally have never seen a running back, 36 carries, took his team on his back, 218 yards and 4 touchdowns. I have never seen a running back play the ball game that he played on Saturday. And he had something to prove. He fumbled against the Patriots the other week. I was so impressed with him. And I think the Ravens got a little karma right now. So I think the Ravens are going to beat Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh might have to answer some of these questions This idea that they're going to make this magical run, Pete. Really?
Hey.
They're not making any magical run.
Any team,
This
in the
season's
AFC
over.
Any team in the
Okay.
AFC can make a little run. I did notice that he did say he hasn't seen Swagoo in months.
Yeah, I heard him say that too. So wait, just to reiterate. Yes, we know what Derrick Henry can do, but you think the Ravens can beat the Steelers?
Yes, I will.
Even without Lamar Jackson. We'll find out later today.
Absolutely. Huntley played pretty well the other night.
16-20.
Did a nice job. They got him going here, and I'm not knocking Lamar.
No.
But Huntley played well against the Patriots too when he
It's not
came in
about
the
the
second
quarterback.
half. Yeah, he's not terrible. He's a decent backup. And I'm telling you right now, Malik Willis is going to get a job. You know better than anybody. So Willis is getting him a job.
Yeah.
He has played great.
He's good.
He was great the other day.
He played
was good
phenomenal.
against the
Yep.
Bears on the Saturday before Christmas. He's going to get a job. Why can't Pittsburgh get him?
They could.
He's going to go somewhere, right?
Pittsburgh-
Why not that? Yeah. Go ahead.
Every Mad Dog, to your point, every quarterback needed team should be in the run for Malik Willis, based on what we've seen. Make sure that you get him in the right situation, right system, and you got the infrastructure for him. But I want to go back to your comment about Derrick Henry, because I 100% agree. And this is what we've been asking Todd Monken to do for a long time while being in Baltimore. You think about, what was it, a couple weeks ago where they ran Keelan, when they ran Keaton Mitchell instead of Derrick Henry
Last drive
in the
of the
game,
game.
and obviously the fumbles will give you a little bit of pause. But like I said earlier in the year, Mad Dog, Derrick Henry has built enough credit for you to stick with him throughout a lot of situations that come off bad. And the Green Bay game was the answer